Hi, I'm Sarah with Pinnacle Design, and we're here at the Green Building Resource Center of Houston with Steve Stelzer. And right now we're standing in front of the Net Zero Energy Home display. And Steve is going to go over what is a net zero energy home and why it's important. Steve?
Thanks. All right, well, first of all, let's start with why do we have the word net? Is this the internet? Do you have to be on the internet to have a net zero house? No. All right, net means we are trying to get to zero energy, but how can you do that when you're plugging in devices that use energy? Okay? You could have a perfect house that didn't use any energy, maybe, and it's going to use it because you got a refrigerator in there keeping your food cold. Okay? So net means we actually provide energy as well as consume it. Okay? So the whole idea is that you're going to have solar panels. Okay? That's going to actually make some energy from the sun, okay? And it's going to balance off the energy that you have to get from the grid. Okay? So that's what net zero means. Or if you don't have it hooked up from the grid because you're off the grid, then you're balancing off the power that your devices consume. Okay, so everybody with me on that? You got some negative, but then you're going to have some positive, so you get to net zero. Okay? So one of these days, we might be able to have some sort of a system where we don't have to make any because we're going off of sunlight all the way, but that's pretty tough to do. Okay? So what we have is a wonderful display and a rotating house, model of a house, so that people can understand that yes, even this house can be net zero. So right off the bat, we have the 9 points that we need to consider. One is a super insulated building envelope. Now what that does is it helps keep, in our climate, keeps the heat out. Okay, that's what we want. The envelope keeps the heat out. The envelope is the walls and the roof and everything separating you from Mother Nature. Okay? Then the second one is insulated windows, and you might be pretty sharp and go, Steve, that's part of the envelope, come on. But you know, windows are a thing. They're in a way, they're almost like a hole in the wall, so they need to be appropriately technological so that they keep the heat out as well. Then we have inside the house high performance lighting. You build that in, so luckily in the past decade we have had a sea change. I mean an order of magnitude improvement over lighting now that we have LEDs that we can afford that give us the lumens or brightness that we need for a hardly any energy use, and they're way more affordable than they used to be. I mean, it was just, you know, so horrible when those of us buying them when they first came out, they were so expensive and it was dim all over the place, okay? Now, not a problem. So then we have tankless hot water heaters. Okay, the whole water heater part of your house used to be really energy intensive because the water heaters were so bad. So now we're really mainstreaming higher performing water heaters. Yes, you can get higher performing tank water heaters, but tankless is still very good for a lot of users because you're not paying for anything until you turn the water on. And the tankless heats it up and you get it, and then when you turn off the water, you're not spending any more energy. So that's a good thing, especially if you like go on vacation and leave town. All right, then we have this ductless HVAC system. Those are pretty good. All of Europe really likes these mini splits. America is not so keen on them. That's okay. The point is to have an HVAC system that is right-sized and appropriate for your house, so that you're not consuming excess energy by having a unit that is oversized, that's not really dehumidifying properly, and creating all kinds of problems because people just think bigger is better all the time. And especially the HVAC contractors. They do not want to call back. They do not want you saying, oh, I'm not cool enough in my house. Can I have a bigger unit? Because I've got this idea that bigger is better. Okay, it's not. It's better to have a smaller unit running more than a bigger unit shunting on and off all the time. Okay, just so you know. So then we have high performance appliances. Okay, you can get refrigerators that use a whole lot of energy and dump a whole lot of heat into your kitchen that then has to be air conditioned. Or you can get some that are much better designed, they don't use as much power, and they don't dump as much heat into your kitchen that you then have to air condition. Okay? The range is staggering, from unbelievably small energy footprint to, I can't believe these are even on the market, they're consuming so much energy it is pathetic. Okay? So then we have site-specific design. So this is not an option if you're trying to improve your already existing house. It's already there. But the whole idea is if you're going to design a house, you want to be passive solar smart. Okay, so you want to have the long sides. Short side here would be east and west. Okay, and the long side of the house would be north and south. Okay, because your east and your west faces are going to get the most sun hit in this climate, and they're going to heat up the most, and the potential of getting into your house is the greatest when you have it oriented in that way. Okay, then we have so those are kind of the envelope and internal type things. Then we have solar panels, which is the big offset. So we put solar panels on there, they're creating energy, and then that means you're not using that amount of energy from the grid. And what's the problem with the grid? Oh, coal-fired power plants? And what's wrong with them? Oh, they're putting in all kinds of toxins in the air. Yeah, and then if that's not bad enough, they're putting in whole bunches of carbon dioxide in the air. If you don't care about that, then I'm wondering why you're even listening to this video. So then finally, the last one is personal consumption. So we build the house, and we do the best we can, and then we put in a flat screen in every room, and we leave the TV on 24/7. So, I mean, personal consumption. If you're going to put stuff in, plug it in, and let her rip, then you know you're going to be using a bit too much power. You could leave the lights on 24/7. Yeah, that could be a thing. You can do all kinds of things. I don't even have to suggest anything. You all know what you can do to use a bit less and be a little bit more conservative, which would be a really good thing because energy conservation is a good thing. And when you do it, and then your friends and neighbors do it, and then the whole city starts catching on, and then the whole country catches on, and then the whole world catches on, we're going to get somewhere. So that is the story behind the net zero house.